What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. And today I'm going to talk about my week 4 fantasy football waiver wire. We're going to get into it, man. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins today. We're going to talk about a little bit of Minnesota Vikings. We're even going to talk about some Chargers because, hey, they lost one of their best players this past week, torn ACL. Who should replace him? We're going to take and talk about that here today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen of my personal fantasy football league that I'm in. I'm actually part of 2 leagues, so I'm going to show you 2, not 1, but 2 different waiver wires, okay? This waiver wire may not even reflect yours, so please, let's keep this open discussion. Also, if you're not part of the live show and you're watching this pre-recorded 5 hours from now or 4 days from now, take and go down the comment section. If you guys need any advice, let's talk about it. I'm always more than happy to give advice. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen right now. And yeah, man, let's talk some fantasy football. I'm ready to get into it. Also, this show is going to be moving to Mondays. I know there's Monday night football and everything like that, but just to give everyone more of a chance to ultimately tune in kind of thing, right? So let me go ahead and make my screen a little bit bigger here so you all can see. And let's talk free agents, okay? Let's start off with the quarterbacks. I love talking quarterbacks. So, there's not a whole lot to see here, folks. If you guys need mid-range quarterbacks, it's really going to take and be, your Jared Goffs, your Jordan Loves, everything like that. Obviously, Baker Mayfield is a guy where I'm expecting him to do pretty well this year, probably be around 17, 18 points. If you're picking up somebody who is, available, that might be a guy to take and watch out for. But yeah, 17 points, 10 points, 17 points, 20 points, 10 points. As far as Baker Mayfield goes, I don't see him having anything worse than what he had last week. That if you guys are looking for quarterbacks, I don't want to spend too much time on quarterbacks today, but as we want to talk some running backs and receivers, the skill positions. There's a guy on the Miami Dolphins. Okay, here he is, Devon Achane. I am a fan. Devon was fan-freaking-tastic. And I'm going to claim him right here on this show. You're going to see me. Guys, look at this. 74 points. Now, guys, I am not expecting that every week. I know that the Miami Dolphins, they have a very crowded backfield. Very, very crowded backfield. They have Raheem Mostert. Jeff Wilson is I think he's supposed to be back in like a week or so. They have Chris Brooks, who came from BYU. He had like 2 or 3 carries for like 50 yards. Holy cow. I'm not expecting that. Denver's hot garbage. Also, Buffalo beat the brakes off of the Washington Commanders. I still would have Miami out there. I still will have Devon Achane. I think Devon is going to be a steady 10 to 17 point running back throughout the year. So that being said, I am going to go ahead and select him. So I'm going to claim Devon Achane. The good news is that now it's midnight. So hopefully I don't get any pushback. Let's see who I can ultimately swap them out for. Okay. These are my actual starters here, everyone. So Gus Edwards is a guy who I like. He's relied on pretty heavily. He's steady. 9 points, 18 points, 10 points. This is a guy, he's going to give you around 10 points every single week, Gus Edwards. With that Ravens offense, they're going to give you, everything that they got, essentially, right? So I'm going to pass on that. I'm not going to trade him up. But let's see who else we got. We got Alec Pierce. We got Jawan Johnson. Now, Jawan Johnson, I'll be honest with you, that's a guy who I thought he would have had a really big game so far. Let me see here. He's projected to get 8 points. 10 points, 4 points, 4 points. Guys, I'm going to take a risk, and I hope this does not shoot me in the foot. Now, if you guys see, I'm not super strong on running back. I had Dalvin Cook, Bijan Robinson, okay, Zeke Elliott, and I have no steady running backs. There's Gus Edwards. I'm going to go ahead and drop Sam Howell. We're just going to do that. We're going to drop Sam Howell today. Boom. Oh, I didn't realize. It looks like I did this transaction earlier. So, yeah, hopefully I get that. Hopefully that gets approved. And yeah, we're good to go. Let's talk some more players though. Okay, I'm gonna take and go back to running backs here. Let's see what else we got. Devin Singletary, Houston. Let's see what his stats are looking like. So he had a pretty big week, man. 9 carries, 41 yards. Okay. Then he had 2 receptions. So that's 11 points. Now, this is a PPR league, just so that you are aware. Excuse me. Um, this is a guy that probably I will put him on your watch list. So if you get a chance to take and flag him, like I'm about to, you're getting flagged. Now, a team like Houston, we're trying to figure out what identity are they? Like, who the heck is the Houston Texans? They have some guys like Nico Collins who balled out of control this last week. Absolutely went off. Let's check Zach Charbonnet, excuse me. I butchered his name. 10 points, 9 carries, 46 yards. This is a guy right here, man. I'm gonna flag this one right here. This is a person I'm gonna keep my eyes out. Against a team like the New York Giants, he could potentially have a very big week. If I could recommend anyone, I would definitely get Devon Achane. I would get Zach Charbonnet. Okay. Another person I want to take and talk about is Kendre Miller. Now, Kendre Miller, look, man, I know Kendre personally. He's actually been on this show. I know him personally. Look, y'all, he got 7.8 points, 8 points almost. 9 carries, 34 yards. They're trying to find who the heck they are, the Saints. They're going to be a scrappy team. They're going to be a trap team for some games this year. I expect Kendre to get a good amount of carries, but when week 6 or 7, at least week 7, that the running back the starting running back for the Saints takes it and comes back, Alvin Kamara from suspension. That's somebody who, like, hey, all right, you may not. Kendre Miller's for now is just a temporary fix, but if he gets his flow going, that's a guy that, he could potentially be a help for you later down the line. But I don't feel right telling you guys, just go get him. But flag him. So I'm gonna do that today. Keep an eye on him. These guys like TJ Spears, if you want to take a risk for later in the year, TJ Spears is going to get you a few points. Let's take a look here, see how he's done. 6 points, 13 points, 5 points. He's getting more carries than Hassan Haskins, who was there before him, right? But TJ Spears is a very good running back. If you guys take and watch his tape, he was phenomenal in college. So if you get a chance, check that out. That's a guy that later, if something happens to Derrick Henry, expect TJ Spears to potentially save because you want to think ahead in fantasy football. Injuries are going to happen. You're going to have to, some people are going to stink. You're on bench people. TJ Spears is a person, I'm not ready to claim him yet because there's a few people who I'm just like, I'm not sure just yet. But if Devon Achane, says the name's not Devon Achane, it's Devon Achane, doesn't pan out, or you're not able to get him because everybody's gonna be reaching for him. A guy went off. TJ Spears is that guy. He is that guy for sure. Let's go ahead, guys. Let's move over to receiver. Excuse me. A little bit of a cold I'm recovering here from. And with receivers, let's see what we got. Okay. There's a guy here by KJ Osborne. I have him in one of my other leagues. Folks, snag you a KJ Osborne. Kirk Cousins, he may not be winning games, but he's winning fantasy football games for a lot of people. And he's spreading a lot of love. Okay. Let's go down here. And 9 points, 15 points, 14 points. This guy potentially could be a starter. KJ Osborne. He's averaging 13.1 points right now. He's healthy. He had a few drop passes, man, but he is a very good receiver. Very good receiver. So that's a person. I'm gonna flag that. I'm gonna put that I'm interested in. Straight up. Okay. Over here we got Tank Dell. Now, Tank Dell. Look at this. Average 25 points. Guys, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Matter of fact, I might have to swap him out. Let's see. Let's look at the complete stats. So 9 points, 27 points, 40 points. Tank Dell is being used. He is being used all up. 5 receptions for 145 yards. Tank Dell, I want to say he's a native of Houston, but I know he went to University of Houston. He played for the Cougars in college and whatnot. And he was phenomenal. Dude, he was, you know what? No, we're making moves today. I'm trying to win because we got money on this on this league right here. So who can I get rid of? Okay, let's keep it. Who can I get rid of and move on from? I'm gonna check out a few people, and we got to have these hard discussions. Nobody's safe on my bench. Nobody. Jawan hasn't been playing up to par. I like to have a tight end, man, but right now I got Dalton Kincaid. So I think within 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to know whether I want to start Dalton Kincaid or Jawan Johnson. Dalton Kincaid's playing against Miami. He's going to get fed. For whatever reason, we don't always do the best at defending tight ends. So I think Dalton Kincaid probably going to get a touchdown. I think Dalton Kincaid will probably get 12, 13 points. I said it. I think he'll get you 12, 13 points. I got Nico Collins, guys. Do I feel good about having 2 Texans? Abso-freaking-lutely. I like the Texans. I'm not saying they're playoff bound or nothing, but I think the Texans will win probably about 5 or 6 games this year. It's not going to be pretty, but they got some offensive weapons, and I'm a fan. So Alec Pierce, you got to go. You got to go, Alec Pierce. You off my team, man. We making moves right here. This one is shout out to my brother from another mother, Eric Wren. He's been on the show a few times. So this is a paid league. I think we're doing $30 buy-in for this league, just so you guys are aware. All right, so let's get back to the waiver wire, and we're talking receivers. And again, guys, there's a lot to discuss. This episode, we're more talking about receivers and running backs. Not a whole lot to see for quarterbacks. No really shockers here today. Okay, folks, injuries. Let's talk injuries. Okay, so the Mike Williams tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Okay, now in this specific league, Quentin Johnson, the first round draft pick who the Chargers picked up, it doesn't look like he's available in this one, but I would scoop him up. Also, Joshua Palmer, I would scoop him up. I'm not saying start him. But if he's out there, I think it's worth a look. And check this out, guys. 9.5 yards average. This is a guy, as of right now, Josh Palmer is a guy you want to take and put in if your guy has a bye week. I'll keep it. If he has a bye week, that's a guy you want to take and put in, right? But let's look at this. He had 21 points last game against Minnesota. Josh Palmer might be a guy who blows up on week 4. He could be. He's already a established target for Herbert, not Quentin Johnson. Personally, I would go Josh Palmer over Quentin Johnson, but Quentin Johnson is a similar body type to Mike Williams. It's just a worth, if they're in your waiver wire, Quentin Johnson, I would go there. I totally would go there. Okay. Real quick, guys, I just want to take a brief moment to thank everyone for watching the show. We got just a few more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I usually don't film at this late at night, but man, I had to give you guys the content, because guess what? Thursday Night Football is still 2 days away. Okay. So subscribe on this channel. Subscribe helps the channel to grow. I don't just cover fantasy football. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I do cover a little bit of everything. I do original stories. I cover some college football, and then January through April, this channel is one of the hottest places on the internet where we have live pre-draft content. That means we do mock drafts, and then also as well, we have the actual players. I get to interview them. I have a lot of connects throughout the NFL. So I've had over 60 players. So if you get a chance, check out that playlist. It's a lot of fun. Kendry Miller's been on, a whole bunch of really great guys. Let's go ahead. Let's move on here. Yeah, that's my take on the Chargers, man. You definitely want to get you some love there. Outside of that, man, avoid the Giants. Right now, Jacksonville, man, I'd avoid the Jacksonville Jaguars like the plague. They started off kind of hot, and then I don't know what's happening right now. So avoid them. Let's see how Matt Collins is doing. Matt Collins, yeah, they have a quarterback who it's kind of make or break for Desmond Ridder, so I'd stay away from that. Just because that's going to affect the receiver game. Devontae Parker will light it up for you a couple games this year. He will. Every year he does that. I'm a Dolphins fan. I know this. You see, against the Dolphins, 17 points. He balled out, man. So he did okay. He had 8 targets, 6 receptions for 57 yards. He's going to have bigger games. So that's a guy that will take a watch on your bench as well, too. And another guy here, Marvin Mims of the Denver Broncos. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is not a popular opinion. Okay, this is not a popular opinion. Some people say Russell Wilson is washed. Russell Wilson sucks. Look, say what you want about Russell Wilson. He's playing better than he did last year, and he's finding his flow. Miami Dolphins, they hung 70 points on the Broncos. Yes, I know. But Marvin Mims made some plays. Matter of fact, let's take a look at those plays. Guys, look at this. 3.8 points, 32.6 points, 24.2 points. Guys, Marvin Mims needs to be on your team. He needs to be on your fantasy football team. That's a gem right there for you guys. Just like Josh Palmer from the Chargers, you should probably scoop him up. You should also pick up Mr. Mims. What's up, Alan Warfield? He says, I'm thinking about cutting Judy for Tank. Bro, I would. I totally would, man. One thing, first of all, thank you for your comment. I really appreciate you, and please subscribe if you don't mind. Let's talk about this. Dak Prescott. Look, man, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of Cowboys fans. I live in Texas. Most of my friends are Cowboys fans. When I look at receivers, I'm also paying attention who the heck your quarterback is. And with all the inconsistent play, nobody's talking about CJ Stroud. Nobody's talking about him. Everybody's talking about the Colts quarterback who they drafted. They're talking about everybody else but him. Dude, CJ Stroud is that guy, and he is feeding his receivers. Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Folks, if they're available, Nico Collins is drafted. He's probably not on too many waiver wires out there, but Tank Dell is. So it's funny, Alan. I don't know if you were watching like 10 minutes ago. I actually scooped up Tank Dell. I got rid of Alec Pierce from the Colts, and yeah, hopefully the trade gets approved because right now I'm 1-2, man. I'm kind of in the tank right now. I lost by 5 points. So Tank Dell, scoop him up. And I usually don't do this on the show, man, but I'm going to I'm looking at Marvin Mims, 3 receptions, 73 yards. Okay, and then he was targeted 5 times, 2 receptions, 113 yards. These are great fantasy football points. So I'm going to see about claiming Marvin Mims. Again, I'm not saying the Broncos aren't going to do a whole lot, but if I see a chemistry between a quarterback, he's playing better than Cortland Sutton right now. Cortland Sutton out here dropping passes. He dropping like he's allergic to the pigskin. Totally dropping them. But yeah, man, hopefully I answer your question, Alan Warfield. I definitely would pick up Tank. I think it's worth it. Judy is he's gonna get he's gonna have some good games this year. He is. But the Cowboys, man, I just, when everybody's so high on them, Super Bowl, like, hey, it is week 2, folks. Calm down. And now week 3 just wrapped up. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts there. Hopefully I led you in the right direction there, my friend. Okay, so Marvin Mims. Who can I swap Marvin Mims? I saw Alec Pierce is getting traded. Sam Howell is getting traded. I'm going to hold on to Jawan Johnson and also Dalton Kincaid because I'm trying to see, like, hey, who's going to do what? Dalton Kincaid is a rookie, right? Rookie tight ends very rarely ball out, but this is a guy, I mean, he had 13 points in week 2, right? And he did very crummy last week. So I'm expecting him to do bigger against Miami. So I'm going to hold off on that. This is frustrating, man. Then there's Pickens. Oh, man, this gives me a headache, dude. Then it's Terry McLaurin, who is, let's see how he's done. Scary Terry McLaurin, 8 points, 21 points, 14 points. So if you guys are just now tuning in, I am looking at Marvin Mims and swapping him out for one of my players. I am. It's Gus Edwards. You know what? I feel like I could pick up another Gus Edwards another time. Screw it, man. Let's get the best receivers. Oh, hold on. This Calvin Ridley. That's how Calvin Ridley's doing. Oh, all right. So he went off week 1. Week 2, he's a mid-range player right now. Let's see what he's averaging. He's averaging 17 points. This is a big difference. 34 points, 8 points, 11 points. In my opinion, I feel like he's going to be around 15 points for the year. So I'm going to take a risk, man, because I really want to win this league, like really, really bad. So screw it, man. Let's go. I am going to go ahead and get rid of Calvin Ridley. I like somebody to like talk me out of it, and it's Gus Edwards. Oh, shoot, this is where I struggle. It's like, what should I do? What should I do? Gus Edwards is going to get fed throughout the year, but he's just kind of a mid-range guy. And then if I had Devon Achane, Gus Edwards would be out of there, right? But Devon Achane is not going to light it up because they have Miami Dolphins have a running back committee. Right. They have a running back committee, and I'm just like, I'm not not quite sold just yet, right? So I still need to see more. I need to see more. And he's going to do more. He's going to light it up. But I don't know if that's going to be sustainable. And is that going to be every single week, right? So, Mims, here we go. All right, Calvin Ridley. I'm going to go ahead and drop you. And boom. I might regret this. I may triumph from this. But that is fantasy football, folks. Alan Warfield, thank you, brother. Thank you so much for your donation, my friend. I appreciate you, man. My man, thank you, sir. Also, as well, folks, I do these shows live every Tuesday. I usually don't go as late as midnight, but hey, there's an audience for it. I usually do it like around 10 o'clock at night every Tuesday. So, but I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up today's show. We're gonna talk defenses really, really quickly, and then yeah, man, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up the show. Let's see what else we got here for defenses here. One sec here. Oops, sorry. Computer's acting wonky. All right, so we got defense. We got Bills over Miami. Bills over Miami. Let me say something. Bills, they have our number a lot of times. This is going to be a gladiator game. Broncos are soft, man. Bills, they spent, was it 34 or 38 or 35-0 against the Commanders? Holy cow. Holy cow. Like, just so nuts, man. So I think the Bills, they're going to get some points. If you're looking for someone to give you 10 points or something, that'll be pretty good. Then we got the Miami Dolphins, right? I wouldn't start the Bills they're both going to give you points, but I don't know, man. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings have been waiting to get their first win. I believe that happens this week against the Panthers. So if you're the type of person who changes your defense on a week-to-week basis, this might be the week to do it. Just might be the week to do it. Seahawks over the Giants. I think that'll be a good game. I have Seahawks defense. Hey, they're going to do pretty dang good. Then we have the Rams over the Colts. I have Rams defense having a field day over the Colts. That might be something to look into. But again, those are just a few of my thoughts. If Pittsburgh is available, I'd pick them over the Texans as far as defenses goes. Other than that, folks, that is it. That is the show. So I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. God bless you. I always like to say Jesus loves you, man. I hope everybody has a blessed week, and I hope you all crush it in your fantasy football leagues. Every single last one of you. I hope all your dreams come true. So I'll catch you guys next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Peace. Here's my outro.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heisman, 2 views, catch him on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, who lose, who win, who lose. Comedy, you choose, it's not about moolah. The QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooter. Play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the beast. Rivalries will lead the conference. Cowboys of the Eagles, will Belichick be a trap, better check. Tomlin on deck, much respect to the vet. What to expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, chat. At the best, bad boy, the sports podcast. For the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back clueless, time to tune in. Now another sports center, it's a movement.